Sports and religion are one and the same. On Sundays, masses fill the stadiums and arenas, while fans of Jesus are crowding into the pews.
In New Orleans, a lot of the churches have like TVs, so that if church goes a little bit over the time it's supposed to go, you can like stay a while to like halftime and watch the game. That's how influential like football is in New Orleans. Like the pastor knows that if everybody not in the congregation, they somewhere watching the Saints game. So why they might as well be in the church. So you have TVs in the church.
A pilgrimage is going to a sacred ground. So many of my fellow cheeseheads think of going to Lambeau Field as a pilgrimage. I got to step into Lambeau Field, which many fans would think of as sacred or hallowed ground. There's Notre Dame, they have Touchdown Jesus.
Touchdown Jesus is actually a library inside for Father Ted Hesburgh, which was a very influential civil rights and spiritual priest that worked with Notre Dame. So you have an academic part, but nobody goes there for that. But there is a reflection pool in front of Touchdown Jesus. So despite the fact that people go there as a superstition, like I'll always pray to Touchdown Jesus that we score and that we win. Like people go there for superstitions, but it really is a reverent area. So it's peaceful and quiet, but everybody knows the real reason you're there is praying for a win.
The Predator Stadium has a large radio tower attached to the stadium that kind of looks like a spire on a church. And then you have the people, they all filter in through the same front entrance and they all filter out through the same exit. So it's very religious seeming if you were an outsider and didn't know any better.
From holy churches to sacred fields, fans are practicing their own religion. Ritual and traditions are passed down year after year. They can seem even cult-like, but that's exactly what keeps them alive.
It's absolutely a cult, obviously. Next question. But seriously, no, it's definitely a cult, absolutely. And we love it that way. There's so many traditions tied to every single building, every single icon you see, from campus buildings that are haunted to traditions that have to do with who you're going to marry.
They have little chants that they'll do during kickoffs and at the start of each quarter, so their band will play certain songs and they'll have traditions like that. My favorite is though when you score a touchdown, they do push-ups. So the male cheerleaders will run in the middle of the field and do however many push-ups they have for the total amount of points they have. Or fans will actually lift their student section up and do push-ups like in the stands.
The catfish that they throw on the ice started in the early 2000s when they were playing Detroit, and it's a direct copy of the octopus that Detroit throws, but it's continued on ever since to the point where in recent playoffs there's been so many catfish thrown on the ice that the NHL and the coaches and the players have had to ask the fans to not throw as many or to officially stop throwing them.
Catfish number 5, I think, on the ice. Yeah, Matt Collin just looked down as he saw something towards, and another catfish finds its way.
We don't have cheerleaders, we have yell leaders because we don't need cheerleaders because the entire student section is the cheerleaders, is what we say. And so we don't do cheers, we do yells. Again, because we're not in high school. You kiss your boyfriend on every touchdown.
Each team has its own traditions, but fans themselves stick to their certain game day rituals as if it's a holy doctrine.
I like to get there about 2 hours before, go and get some drinks, bite to eat, and then show up about 5 minutes before warm-up ends.
If the game's on campus, we're typically about 6 hours early because despite the fact the campus has never changed, we walk it again every time. So you see the player walk and you go see the Basilica and all the sorts of things that Notre Dame fans do on a daily basis. We'll go do it all over again, even though I've done it since I was 2.
Some fans go beyond these game day rules. Some are superstitious.
And we would have all kinds of superstitions. I mean, there's, the way you sit. So if somebody's sitting in one particular place and then they get up and the team starts doing badly, we tell them to sit down. I don't believe in it, but I still do it.
Game day. So this is where the superstition comes in. I have to do the same thing each game day. I have to eat food before. I have to sit in my same spot in bed since I've been here. But if I'm at home, I have like my spot on the sofa back home where me and my mom are all sitting like our same spots all the time. I don't wear Saints gear during the game, not at all, because I wore it once. Like I used to wear it before, but like one time I wore it and we lost. I was like, so I'm not doing this, and I stopped wearing it, so now I just wear my PJs to watch the game. I am very superstitious when it comes to football. If I do one thing wrong, the whole thing is knocked off.
Superstitions are simply that. They're interesting and they're fun, but they don't work. Even so, people still do them.
When superstitions don't work, fans will pray.
There's been multiple games where I'm watching the Predators on TV and I'm sitting there like leaning forward a little bit in my chair just waiting for them to score a goal.
Yes, I do pray for miracles.
The 1980 Miracle on Ice where the U.S. played Russia in the Olympics.
So 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
What we say is a miracle like that is not a miracle. It's a very, very unlikely circumstance.
Fans are superstitious, pray for miracles, and worship their favorite players, just like fans of Jesus. They do this for the love of their team and their community.
You're part of a social group, and a lot of scholars who study religion talk about kind of the social function of religion. You can say the same thing about sports.
My family are like huge Saints fans, not everybody, but for the most part, like we're diehard every Sunday in front of the TV. My dad was actually on the Saints practice team before he died, so that's another big reason. And they were like a big part of paying for his like funeral, and they also like donated a lot of money to me and my brother after. During Katrina, the Superdome served as a shelter. Like many people stayed in there, many people were sick and like died because of like the stuff that was in the water and stuff like they went through. So like honestly, if I was to say, I believe those spirits are with us during each game day. And most people say that's like kind of what helped Gleason have that like that punt block. Like that was those spirits like coming up and like, you know, just like we home, like this is our home, like we're not going nowhere. Katrina ain't stopping us, like this is us. When you in the dome, you feel that.
Religion gives the world meaning and a purpose. There's no coincidence that sports do the same. Fans have rituals, traditions, beliefs, and a strong community that keeps their own religion alive.
All-star editor, Kobe. He's beast moving right now. Look at that. Way too hard. It never stops.
So Ben is currently trying to book the Blue Ballroom for when we screen our sports documentary. So it's pretty exciting. He's over there working hard. So we'll see what happens.